got one narco, near the watchtower.
Hey everyone, this is Dave here, and welcome to Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's been a while since Ubisoft first unveiled this title, and it's been a long time coming. Here we've got the open beta, the first time the game has been completely opened up to the general public. In terms of what to expect, you've got essentially the campaign and multiplayer modes unlocked here, so you can play solo or tag up with a group of friends. As you'd expect with a modern Ubisoft title, it's set in an open world, but the gameplay is kind of traditional Ghost Recon here. It mixes third-person elements with first-person shooting, along with various tactical options during gameplay, such as using drones and squad manipulation, if of course you're playing with AI. The concept behind the game is pretty solid, but the experience right now is rather mixed. The gunplay itself feels pretty much what you'd expect from a Ghost Recon title, but things such as the vehicle handling physics leave a lot to be desired. That said, the game does have some high points. The open world environment is rather vast, and there's plenty of detail on offer. It's a decent enough start, but one area of the game that features some noticeable issues is performance. Kicking things off with the opening scene, and well, first impressions aren't good. There's plenty of screen tearing and frame rate drops, and as a result the experience is brought down by a lot of stutter, making it difficult to control and generally play. Xbox One definitely bears the brunt of this here. You'll note that the game is targeting 30 frames per second and runs with an adaptive VSync in play. The idea here being that if the engine can't hit 30 FPS, it will display whatever incomplete frame is ready, and that results in a tear. This gives us better controller response, but also introduces an annoying screen wobble when the engine simply can't hit the desired 30 FPS. On top of that, frame rates are extremely variable too, so while the game does indeed try to target 30 frames per second, it often fails to hit that target. Instead, we see lots of frame rate drops varying around the mid-20s up to 30 FPS, and when combined with regular screen tearing, it means the experience really doesn't feel very smooth. And this can make fast-paced scenes such as driving and shooting somewhat distracting. It takes you out of the experience and means the gameplay doesn't feel as refined as it really should do. That's Xbox One, but as you've probably noticed, the PlayStation 4 version does fare a lot better. The opening scene plays out at mostly solid 30 frames per second, and actually the game spends quite a lot of time running at this desired frame rate. It's not 100% perfect of course, and there are some frame rate drops and tearing in play. And yes, there are times when frame rates are impacted quite heavily. And on these occasions, while the experience isn't compromised as badly as on Xbox One, it's still not very good to play. Thankfully though, there are plenty of times where the PS4 version does hit 30 FPS and delivers a decent run of play without significant issues. There's some tearing which creates an irritating screen wobble, but thankfully the controls remain pretty solid during this part. There are more situations where frame rates are stable, and this means that so far in the beta at least, the experience is better to play on PS4. If you want to have a more stable experience, then you're going to need an upgrade to the PS4 Pro. Sony's latest machine actually provides a far smoother gameplay experience end to end. In fact, we're getting a complete 30 FPS lock here. No odd dropped or torn frames, and as a result the gameplay feels consistently smooth and a lot better to play. Obviously the increased frame rate isn't going to do anything to help the twitchy vehicle controls, but aside from that, the general shooting and gameplay is much improved. So that is definitely a welcome bonus, and that also extends to whether you're playing in the 4K mode or simply in 1080p to a full HD screen. So performance is a bit of a mixed bag depending on which console you play the game on, but how does it hold up in terms of resolution? Well, it's pretty much a standard setup where PS4 and Xbox One are concerned. PS4 operates at native 1080p, whereas Xbox One gives you 900p instead. The presentation is a little softer here with a bit more shimmering across various edges, but it's not too bad. The game actually appears a touch rough in certain scenes across both consoles, but in terms of image quality the PS4 does have an advantage. The PS4 Pro takes things a stage further. Resolution in the 4K mode is 1440p, which provides a modest boost over the 1080p on the base game. It's not an amazing upgrade and won't pass for proper 4K, but at least UHD owners are getting some kind of boost to pixel counts. Super sampling is also supported, so those with a 1080p screen do get different image quality compared to the base version at 1080p. I say different because while the image does appear smoother, it can look a touch softer in places. Not sure what's really going on here, but you don't get the usual slight boost in detail that super sampling can provide. Perhaps the implementation here simply needs a bit more work. Overall then, from what we've played of the beta so far, it's the PS4 Pro that delivers the best overall experience. But in terms of the standard or base consoles, there's more that needs to be done overall, especially where performance is concerned. So hopefully we see some optimization with a day one patch. But until then, I think that's about it. If you enjoy this analysis, don't forget to like or subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.